Welcome to CKTR. My name is Professor Abir Bender. In this video, we will be talking about hyper-local. So you have heard about e-commerce. The hyper-local is another form of e-commerce. Now what is an e-commerce? In e-commerce, you will be getting the products to be delivered from any part of the nation or from overseas. But in hyper-local, understand the word hyper-local means there will be a vicinity from which you will be getting all your products. Suppose you are in a particular location A and you want to get your products from location B, but within a particular range. Okay, that is called your hyperlocal. I will give an example here. So hyperlocal specifically have a particular range. The range can be 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, up to 50 or up to 100 kilometer maybe. So beyond that, it's not called a hyperlocal. It's actually e-commerce. So hyperlocal have a particular range. Now an example. Suppose you are a customer and you want to buy a particular product. Specifically, hyperlocal companies deals with perishable and non-perishable items. Perishable items are those items which have a few limited validity, a shelf life which we say. Suppose your vegetables, right? Fruits, milk, this type of things. Non-perishable item which will have a long period of validity. For example, any ice cream, something like that. Though I don't think that ice cream is a perishable item, but okay, fine. I'm giving a simple example. Now, you are as a customer and you want to buy a particular product. Within that particular 10 kilometer range, suppose there is a store. And now what the hyperlocal company will do is that they will take your order and that order will be submitted in that particular store. Or suppose you know that this particular store is in my vicinity and you will only take orders from that particular store. Sometimes the store ID is not provided. There are multiple companies who will take the orders from the store and they will keep these orders in their stores, in online stores. When you are going to online stores, some sellers will not reveal their name. So these things happens. So suppose the normal thing is that you have ordered a particular product and that product will be delivered within that particular 10 kilometer range, and the hyperlocal company will take the orders from you. The orders will be given to that particular company, or if the hyperlocal has its own fulfillment warehouse, it will take the products and it will be delivered within your particular locality in a particular period of time. Suppose you are riding a car such as Ferrari and you are riding a simple your passenger car. So there is a situation that the speed of the car of a Ferrari is more, but you need to also understand is that the Ferrari is very costly. Yes or no? Yes. So hyperlocal is very costly, not for the consumers but for the business owners. If you are an established store, it will not be very costly for you. But if you are a company who is doing the hyperlocal, it will be very costly for you. See, many of the e-commerce companies are having their own hyperlocal, whether you are a developed country or you are a developing country or any other nations, they have their own hyperlocal. If you are from India, these hyperlocal companies have their own competitors and there are multiple hyperlocal companies which were closed. So there are multiple hyperlocal companies in India. We can say the Big Basket, Grocers, Amazon Fresh. There are multiple small players also. They are doing a great job. But the main thing is that the established players, means the stores, have their own delivery personnel. So it is little bit challenging for them. And the margins, if you are in India, any products, if you want to go to any products, the margins are very low. I got a job in Britannia and you will see the margins there in FMCGs are also very low because they have to work in volumes. The volume sales they have to do. But still, the average order value is very less. Yeah, it's $1 billion industry, but still the average value is very less. In India, a typical person wants to buy a product within a range of suppose 100 to 200 rupees. Now one thing you will find in developing countries like India is that people don't spend huge amount of money on groceries. They will spend around your 5,000, 6,000 rupees. That is your average they will spend in India. But if you go to developed countries, the average sales will be more. Okay, you will earn more. People here in India spends around around 20, 30, 40, 50 rupees of range of products. So the average value of product is very less. Yes, and important is that the margins here are very low. It is very difficult to compete with the local market. Okay, one thing you need to find in anywhere I have gone, I have seen people, whether in India or other countries, people, if you are a hyper local product, you want to go to that particular market, you want to check that particular product, and then you want to buy those particular products. Yes or no? Suppose you want to buy a fruit, so you want to check that particular fruit, then only you will do buy those fruits or whatever you do. In India, people do bargaining, so the prices, whatever the retail prices, they came down. If you still bargain, suppose the price is 20 rupees, in India people do bargain crazily in India. So these things are not in developed countries. So in developed countries, hyper local products are more valuable than in India. For local company, when I was doing my graduation, I wanted to start this thing, but I looked at the Indian economic perspective. Whenever you want to choose a sector where you want to create your own business, you have to choose in a very positive way. Then what are the things which are going to happen, and is there a plan A, plan B, plan C? In hyper local, there is nothing called plan B. Either you will survive or either you will get. Okay, so hyper local market is very competitive market. Even though they have whatever online, whatever these things, people like to buy on offline, right or not? Specifically the perishable goods. They will do their bargaining, they will ask, they will look to multiple sellers, they will choose their products, they will return these things, they have a credit facility. These few things you will not gain still in online.